Welcome to the channel, Laid Way back here, and today we're going to be going over 2B. Going to be going over her buttons, specials, combos, and a little bit of strategy. Things that I've used to win multiple tournaments, including TNS. First, let's talk about our light attacks. Now, crouching light attack is pretty much the same as other characters. Except what we can do with ours is we can link into this like most characters can do. But as 2B, we can keep on going. So if you confirm the hit, you'll be able to get a combo off of that. Now our standing punch is always +2 no matter where we hit it from. So if it's far, close, as like most characters, if they hit from a far L, like short Jita's is you're gonna be +4 here, but far away is +1. So we got one more frame with our 2B. Now one thing I like to do with 2B is I like to go to punch and to grab, like so. And if I know my opponent is looking for that and like expects it to happen, we can walk in and just go for another punch, and then we can confirm the hit into a combo. So just a walk up punch or walk up grab is a great strategy to open people up with lights. Now what's cool about being +2 with your light attack on block, we have Jita doing a kick here. Unfortunately, if we use our 5M, our medium attack here, we'll get hit. But we can use our crouching medium, which will always net us a counter hit, no matter what. And why this is a really good counter hit right here is if we get this counter hit, we get hammer. And if we get hammer, excuse me, if we get hammer, we get combo. Another cool thing about 2B's lights being her 5L is if we're hitting an aerial opponent, so like as long as we're not hitting them on the ground, we immediately get a combo with hammer. So we do raging strike, we do 3 lights, hammer, we have combo. Or let's say knock opponents out the sky, we get combo. Which that would normally hit. Normally hit right there. There we go. So if you ever find yourself with an opponent hovering in your face, and like it's mostly going to be from you knocking them out the sky or doing your raging strike combo, then you get a combo with hammer. So just for the light follow-ups, we can go into heavy, which will do this little baseball bat swing, which could just another way to reset neutral. Although you can get hit during this because, you know, as you can see, it's 19 frames. So if your opponent was to do a light attack, they can hit you, especially if it's like Jita, who has a pretty far light. That can be interrupted, so you just don't want to throw that out all willy-nilly. Then we have this follow-up right here. We can let the pod rock, which will pretty much, we're -3 here, but it will pretty much reset neutral since we'll be so far away from each other. Or you could hold the button down or just press light again to not shoot anything out, which is another way to reset neutral. Now, your opponent can roll past that and then proceed to punish you, which I'll show you here. No, that's the wrong one. So when we shoot the pod, they're right next to us and we're -8. So that means we can be punished by the light, which is 6 frames, or if our opponent has an even faster button, it's an easy punish if they're using an invade. Now what you can do is if you don't do it, that means you're +8. And our +8 move is this right here. This is our 8 framer. So if you hit it at the right time, you can keeps rolling right next to me. You can, I promise you, you can hit this and get a counter hit right there. And what I say earlier about getting the counter hits, we go into hammer. So if we see our opponent roll towards us as we do this evade, we hold the button down so we don't shoot out the pod, and we crouch medium into hammer, and we got ourselves a combo. And finally, just for a summary over our lights, we like light into throw. We can do something like this just to find a way to open our opponent. So we start low, then go high, and then crouching medium. So as long as you get your opponent to go to the perfect distance for crouching medium where it will be able to hit the hammer, then we'll be good. So you just kind of mix it up, and you'll find a way to open up your opponent. Now on to our next button, our crouching medium, which is my favorite button. Has a great distance, 8 framer. Unfortunately, if we get a hit, a regular hit, into hammer, that does not combo. But if we have our opponent crouching, then we get a combo here. Or, as you saw previously, if we get a counter hit, then we get a combo. Now I see 2M as a great defensive option for situations where your opponent is running towards you and you're not quite sure what they're gonna do. Now, let me just give an example here of our 5M, why we use a 2M instead of a 5M. This is 5M, this is the range, we take a step forward, then we can hit it. But that's generally the same range as a 6-6L. So we see here, take one step forward, boom, 6-6L, which can be 8 frames or 9 frames depending on where you hit it. If you hit it like really on the outside, it could be 9. And sometimes even like it could be 10 too. But it's generally gonna be 8 or 9 frames, but mostly gonna be 8, which is gonna be faster than your 5.5M. Well, not your 5.5M, but your 5M. So why I like to use this right here is because it's faster. So we know we can get our hit. So if we have Jita recording and doing a 6-6L, we think she's gonna do that. That's a counter hit. It's gonna stop her. Whereas like a 9-9M, sure it can hit. A 9-9M, I'm saying them wrong. A 5M can hit, but it's less likely. So this is a frame faster. So why not just do this and go into hammer and then proceed to combo afterwards? And there's another reason why this is better, which I'll show you right here. So we have a recording, a run and jump. Now if we are to do our 5M, we can get hit. That's even at me just doing one, and I can't defend after that because you know it's like you're negative 33 if you just hit the button once, or even if you're hitting it twice, she's still gonna get you. She's still gonna get you. So if you see your opponent running towards you, you're thinking, oh, she's gonna do a 6-6L, and instead they jump. Now you're screwed. This is like a situation in most fighting games where your opponent will get right to this spot where they can't hit you with a jump in, and they jump in like if they're expecting a button or something, but it's like the perfect jump in range. But what's gonna keep us safe is this. Not only is it faster, but it recovers faster as well. As you see, we're negative 27. So if we see our opponent run and jump at us, boom, just like that. Oh, we see it whiff, bam, knock her right out of the sky. And that's why 2M is a good defensive button. Now the next button, which is which is our main button pretty much, will be our 5M. It's a great button here. It's fast, it's advancing. We can whiff cancel it as she can for all her buttons. If we keep hitting the button, we can go full screen, and as you can see, that's negative 8. So if you see your opponent still on the ground, like keep hitting that button, because if you're negative 8 here, you're not going to be able to get punished. Not even a 6-6L will hit. So you know, if you ever find yourself in that situation, which you probably won't, but I did win a fight with it once, so you know, you never know. Now mostly we'll be finishing with our specials here, right? We'll be using a 5M into specials, like if our opponent is blocking. But one thing I want you to be aware of, very aware of, is that your opponent can spot dodge pretty much everything you do out of this stance. So there isn't much they can't spot dodge. Pretty much all of it they can spot dodge, except for this right here. That's assuming if your opponent spot dodges right away. But if they do get a read on you doing this, there is plenty of ways to punish this jumping pod attack. So when you're using your specials, you really want to be wary of, like, well, basically what I want to say is that you want to mix it up, right? You want to mix it up. You don't want to just keep doing it at the third one, which most 2Bs are guilty of doing, you know, including myself. by going 1, 2, 3 into a special. But 1 into special, 1, 2 into special is good because that could catch people off guard because they'll be waiting to spot dodge on the 3rd one. So don't always do it after the 3rd hit. You know, just mix it up a bit. Just mix it up a little bit. And if you are at the 3rd hit, you can always just do this and reset the neutral. Now let's talk about if we are to get a hit. Normally we'll finish with the heavy finisher. You know, if we don't plan on using a Raging Strike combo. One thing you should know, that if you are hitting from a max distance with our heavy finisher, they can block afterwards if you are too far away. Now it works just fine if you're close, but if you hit at that max distance, well, that was a little lucky there. You will whiff. So you have to recognize. This is very important. Like, let me show you why it's so important. As you can see, it's -15, which means like if they block that part, then you'll get punished by literally anything and you'll eat some big damage. So you don't want that to happen. If you're ever unsure that you're like not close enough to get that follow-up, just finish with the medium. The medium finisher is a little less damage, but it'll hit every time, no matter what. Next, let's talk about our heavies. Now, our 5H has a really far range. It's a slow startup, being 14 frames, and a really far range. You'll always be able to hit this finisher here. There's really not much to this button other than its range, really, and for your maximum damage. Like, other than like combos, what I like using for it the most is like round start, because as you see, it goes pretty far, as I just said. So if they're hitting a button at round start, like let's say, yeah, they're throwing out pretty much anything, or they're trying to maybe run at you with a 6-6 whatever, then you'll most likely get the hit first. I like to use it at round start mostly. Just throw it out just to see if it hits anything. You know, I won't commit with it, but you know, I will throw it out. But you know, it's a pretty normal button. You'll mostly be using it in combos, but if you could hit it in neutral, if you're at that perfect range, you know, why not go for it? But it's gonna be mostly with the combos, and you know, in the corner we'll be hitting them with this, with a baseball swing. So that's mostly what our 5H is for. And while I'm at it, you know, our 2U, our sweep here, is not something I really throw out much. If I see that my opponent is somebody who's like when in certain ranges will like back up, that's my best time to use it. But like it's 8 frames, same as 2M, so I'd rather just use 2M as it has more range. But this is good for opponents who are backing up. And then as you know, our 2H is our anti-air, which I got some really good combos for you for our anti-air button. So like stay tuned for that. That's where our anti-airs are where we're gonna get our real damage from. Let's talk about our specials now. Of our back special, which is, let me take that off of Vegeta, which is -6. So you don't want to just throw this out neutral, as you can get punished, which your opponent can do a light into a Raging Strike and then get a whole combo off of it. So you want to be careful about that. I recommend not throwing it out neutral. Maybe it could work out round start, or you can and otherwise just use it in a combo. It's best just used in a combo. Now our down special, which is our jumping pod throw thing here, is +3 if we hit. If we're close to them, it's +6. It just is because it hits behind them. So we're very plus. So we can go for things like grabs, or we can just try to open them up with an attack, you know, depending on, you know, how you're playing 2B. But yeah, it leaves you very plus to just kind of keep your turn going, which is really what it's for. Now, the downside to it is it's pretty punishable. If your opponent jumps immediately after seeing you jumping in the air, throwing the pod, they can knock you out the sky, which will be a counter hit, and then can proceed to combo you once they land. Or, you know, other players have, I've seen other characters punished in different ways. It depends on the character. Yeah, you can be punished pretty heavily for that. So I wouldn't recommend throwing it out a lot. Now our machine gun is our I guess, most reliable one, you know. Does a little bit of chip damage, you know, just kind of resets the situation. I mean, you are -4, so you are giving your turn away. But one thing you can do is you can do your reversal here, which will catch anything that is 9 frames and up. So if we have Jita do her standing heavy after machine gun, well, let's get close. That's close heavy. See, that's 8 frames. So as you can see, we can't do it off of an 8-framer. But if it's, there we go. That's, since our button is 10 frames, we can get a reversal off of that. And also, well, yeah, 9 frames and up. I mean, I can show you that it can be 9 frames and up, but it might be kind of hard to do. But if you don't believe me, that's an 8-frame button right there. But if we're Jita, I mean, if we hit it from far away, like the max distance, you can see it's a 9 frame. It turns into 9 frames. But it has to be like the perfect spot. You see, that's when it's 9 frames. So you can test it out and just, yeah, see? Yeah, I got it first try. I didn't think I was gonna get it first try, but I got it first try. So yeah, 9 frames and up after machine gun, you can do a reversal. Next, let's talk about our medium specials. Now our standing special here, our 5 special, just a projectile. Uses 3 of the skill gauge. Is very fast. Very fast, like it's like the perfect projectile, really. Like, too bad you can't spam it like constantly because of the skill gauge, but yeah, very good projectile. Our chain here is good for a projectile, so if we have Jita throw a projectile like that, we can get through it. It's really slow, so for a lot of projectiles, you really have to have the hard read on it from when your opponent's going to do it. You just have to know when they're going to do it in order to hit it, and then you can proceed to combo afterwards. So it's pretty good for that, and it can also be used as a combo extension, only if your opponent is crouching. So we get them crouching here. See that? That's a full combo. So if we are hitting our opponent in a crouching state, then we can extend it with our grappling hook here. And for our last one is a gravity well. You know, I've been trying to find ways to use this. I don't really use it often, but you know, sometimes it's nice for a little sneak grab, because it just kind of takes them right to you. And there's another way. I don't really do this, but you can, since you can guard crush with hammer, you can use this, the guard crush, and then it'll open them up there. I see that it didn't work there. Yeah, see, this is why I don't do it, because it can be hard to do. But yeah, just trust me when I say that this works. Yeah, see, there you go, there you go. we finally got it eventually. But yeah, that's one way to use it. Also, there's ways to if you have your opponent in the corner, you're doing a corner combo and you have them land, and you just slightly go forward, the gravity well will pull them a little out of the corner so that you end up on the other side. But you know, that's only going to work on people who aren't expecting it. But you know, once they've seen it once, they'll be ready for it. So you know, be careful how you use that. Now on to our heavy specials. We have our rockets. It leaves you very plus, but I'd say they're really best just served in a corner combo, because it uses half of your skill gauge. And ever since the nerfs, the skill gauge is like pretty precious to keep kind of high, so you don't want to just throw this out all crazy. Like, I mean, I would just use it as a combo extension and nothing more. And we've already seen plenty of the hammer. You know, the hammer is great for a combo starter, and it's also going to be, I'll be showing it off in some combos like later in the video, as you'll see, which soonly after this. Well, actually, that will be the next section since these are the last specials, really. And yeah, it's just hammer, bro. Hammer is your combo starter or extender or whatever. And we have our pod thing that surrounds you here, which is which is really good. I mean, a lot of 2Bs used to spam that back in the days when we used to have a lot of skill gauge, but you can't really do that now. But you can like put a lot of pressure on your opponent and make them like think about a lot of things. Like if I put that on them, like to like kind of run up and grab them, right? A lot of times they won't be expecting that. Because or what I like to do the most is I like to just run up and just use it right before I get to them. If they like try to hit me before I hit them. So yeah, it can be used in plenty of ways. I mean, it's all gonna be reliant on how you play. There is a little cool setup that we can do. If we put on throw break, So if we have this active, we can throw break and we still keep the pods on them. So if they attack after the throw break, we just zap. And even if you get hit, when they hit you with if they hit you with whatever button, even if you get hit as you're activating that, you'll still get your combo. I'm not sure if I can get her to attack me after the throw break. Actually, you can. there's a whole section for it. There we go. Can she reach me here? No. But I'm pretty sure her standing medium can. Perfect. So we do something like this. We get hit, and we still get combo, bro. Still get combo. We get heavies. So that's a really cool way to use that there. And lastly, we have our ultimate skills. A nice little blue skills here. I will start off with this beam. This beam works great as a combo extender. We can also catch it from afar and hit grappling hook afterwards. So, you know, it's a great way to, if our opponent's like, we're expecting a projectile, it's a great way to catch our opponent off guard and get a nice little combo off of it. And yeah, it's a great combo extender. You can extend combos multiple ways, which we'll get into in the next section. And what's next? We have our back special. This is our DP. We use this and be protected if our opponent is hitting a button, and we also get a hard knockdown. And lastly, we have our bombs. Now the bombs, they do great chip damage. People can jump out of it if they see it coming, or you know, it's not the easiest thing to land on anybody in like general, whether they're blocking or getting hit. But one way that I have been hitting people is if they just react to ultimate skills. A lot of people hear the noise that it makes, the woo noise, and they immediately will spot dodge. And if they spot dodge, they'll get counter hit, and then you can proceed to combo them afterwards. So that's the best way I've seen to use bombs. Most of the time when I'm using a bomb, I'm trying to end a fight, so I will like bomb, and if it lands, if they're blocking it, I'll just do another bomb right afterwards, and just try to chip them all, get them all their health all the way down, so I can just finish them off with some chip damage. Now it is time for combos. We're gonna start off with the anti-air combos because they're my favorite and they're the place where you can get the most damage. Alright, so let's start off with one for a counter hit here. As you can see, we just go right into heavy, but if they are far away, then our heavy is gonna whiff. So you're gonna want to know the distance of where they are, and because if they're far away, we're gonna want to dash up. We're gonna want to dash up with our 5U, or rather 6U, to get in range of the heavy, and then proceed to combo afterwards. Now you can do something like this with a grappling hook, or you can 1-2 hammer, 1-2-3, just like that. So that's if they're far away, because we're gonna have to dash up and then 1-2 hammer, which can whiff, obviously, because the distance can be funny, but generally it will work, or it will drop. So it's not the most, you know, consistent thing. You just really have to know your range. I would say the most consistent thing you can do if you're dashing up is you do that 1-2-3 into this and the grappling hook, and that's going to be something that's going to work every time. Not going to net you the most damage, but it's going to be consistent. Now if they're closer to you, you start with the heavies without dashing up, and you can hit hammer here after the third hit. So not 1-2 hammer like we did previously, but if they're close, we do 1-2-3 hammer, and then just like that. So that's if they're close. So if they're close to you, then you go right into heavies. If they're far away from you, then you dash up and then do heavies, and then like do 2 heavies into hammer if they're far, and if you're close, it's 3 heavies into hammer. Which I know could be a little confusing, but like once you try it out, you'll get it down. Now let's go on to our big damage anti-air combos, which actually don't start off of the counter hit. They right off of a normal hit. This is where we're gonna get our most damage for 2B. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna hit a hammer. Anti-air, and then hammer. If they're at the height of their jump, the hammer could whiff, like so. So you have to wait a second, and just like that, you can still hit the hammer, even if they're at the height of their jump. So you can hit this hammer no matter what. So we could do a double hammer, and we could chunk them, which is like that's 6950. That's a good amount of damage right there. We do it twice, and then 1, 2, 3 into super. But you're gonna have to be close to get the cinematic. As you can see, we missed cinematic there because we weren't close enough, and because it's gonna depend on how close they are when you do start your anti-air combo. So it's kind of hit or miss if you're gonna get the cinematic, because you have to be like super close to get your cinematic on 2B. And also, we could also do, instead of doing double hammer like so, we go 1, 2, 3 hammer. We gotta let them fall a little bit. 1, 2, 3 hammer. 1, 2, 3 super. We hit cinematic right there, and as you will see, that is 9850. That is 9850. That's almost 10,000 damage. That's almost 10,000 damage. So like, if you're hitting that, you've pretty much won the fight already. You've pretty much won the fight already, because like, to get that meter, you're probably gonna at least hit one combo on them, right? So you should be able to kill your opponent with that, especially, you know, if your health is low. So yeah, that is what I found to be the highest damage that 2B can get off of a normal hit. That is an anti-air. And it doesn't end there, there's more. If we do an air-to-air, which 2B has a really fast jumping medium, so you should be able to hit this often, especially if you're jumping in the sky with your opponent. You can do a 2H, because previously I would go into punches here, into hammer, which is what I previously would do, or, you know, if I could, I'd hit the heavies, which, you know, you have to have the right height to do, obviously. But, you know, I guess that's not gonna happen that often. But if you do a 2H instead, you get hammer, and then we can do the combos that we were just doing. So we can go double hammer. In this situation, I like to go double hammer because we can finish the combo like so. Because if we do the 3 hits for this into hammer, the combo will end sooner. Will end right there, as you can see, combo limit. So you'd have to finish with a heavy into a medium there to get the maximum amount of damage there, which is why I like to just do double hammer. But if you know you're not always gonna have full skill gauge, so just one hammer could be fine. And of course, we can also go into super. In this situation, you know that you're not gonna get cinematic, so you can just do a level 1 super, because the level 1 super is always gonna hit, like, and they're gonna lose a crystal every time. So yeah, so we have multiple ways to anti-air people with 2B and get a lot of damage, man. We get a lot of damage off that, especially if we have the skill gauge and we have the meter. Even if we can only do 1 hammer, we still get big damage. We still do. Next, let's talk about some corner combos. So if you have only 3 bars of the skill gauge, so only enough to do 1 shoulder tackle, 1 little tackle there. That's how we'll start it. Instead of doing a double tackle, once we do our 1 tackle, we're going to do a 2L and then 2 standing 5Ls. And then we're going to hit our medium. Into another punch medium. And that's if we only have enough to do 1 tackle here. Now if we have 6 bars of the skill gauge, then we can do 2 tackles. And the punch medium. I don't drop these combos in fights, guys, I promise. It's only because I'm talking at the same time. Punch into, we could do it twice. We do punch in the medium, punch in the medium. So 2 tackles. Into 2U. You could also use a 2M as well. Into punch, medium, punch, medium. And lastly, for our heavy, I mean, if we have like full meter here, we sweep into rockets right there. Sweep into rockets, heavy, 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 baseball bat, hit that. Once you hit the baseball bat part, you get crouching medium, and you can go into super, or you can just do a standing medium into heavy, like so. Let's actually try to do it this time. Medium into heavy, and that's if you don't have super, and if you do have super, you're gonna crouching medium into heavy. I mean, into super. Just like so. Which nets you some pretty good damage there. Now, if you like have like, you know, your full skill gauge, like I said before, you can also throw a little gravity at the end of this.
Excellent.
Don't worry, I'll get it this time.
Excellent.
That's a nice sequence right there. That is a nice sequence right there. You'll do like almost half their health there. Well, more than half of their health if you land that sequence. So the key to that is that the gravity well and just jump forward and do the pod, and then directly go into the heavy, and you'll end up on the other side. Because the gravity bomb will, the gravity will pull them towards, you know, the center of it, and then you'll just end up on the other side. And that's a really good sequence to get a lot of damage, which I just did in my previous tournament. And lastly, let's talk about our mid-screen combos. Medium, 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 punch, 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 hammer, and then mediums all over again. I'm only dropping them because I'm talking, guys. I promise. So that's what we want for like some good damage using one of our crystals there. Like normally, if we're just hitting normal, we just do something like this. Like the medium into the heavy finisher. Now also for another combo extension, we can shoot out this beam, run up, and heavy. Nice chunk of damage there. Not as much wall carry, corner carry though. But we can run up heavy into grappling hook, which can be a little hard to do because you have to be close. You have to be close enough for the grappling hook to hit early, and then you could combo that, which is not the easiest thing to do. See, we hit it right there. But you have to be like really close to them when you're hitting those heavies. But that's one way to extend the combo a little more and get them from corner to corner. Eventually, as you practice that combo, that last one, you'll be able to know when your grappling hook is gonna hit, so you'll know whether to go for it or not. And just one more combo. I know I said earlier about the bombs, but like that you know, usually it's kind of hard to get a hit on those. But one thing, like I did say, is that if they do a spot dodge, as most people do, a lot of people do when they hear the noise for the ultimate skill, is a spot dodge, and like the bombs will hit, you get a counter hit, and if you do, you can pretty much chunk them like really bad. Maybe it's best if I just do it from the corner here. But if you just heavy, the punches and the hammer, that's a huge chunk of damage. That's a third of their health right there. So you know, if we got a spot dodger on our hands and we just want to throw it out, just know that you can get a pretty hefty combo off of that. Now let's talk about some 2B strategy. First, I want to talk about the backdash. It's very fast. It's elegant. And it can open our opponent up. What we can do is we can run up, backdash, and bait out a grab. Let me take off these counter hits.
Great.
Run up, backdash, bait out a grab, and then proceed to combo, whatever combo we choose to do. You know, depending on what kind of resources we have. I especially like to do this in the corner. Run up like we're gonna grab, and immediately backdash. Or if I get like a knockdown, on the wake up I'll do a punch, which they will most likely block. And then I walk up a little bit and backdash. Just like so. So it looks like I'm walking up for a grab, backdash real quick. Now, for opponents who are doing a 2L and just trying to break the grab that way, willing to take the damage and not like fully commit to stopping the grab, what we can do is we can backdash and 2M. So we go up, backdash, and hit that 2M, and then go right into the tackle. Now, it's kind of hard to confirm the hit, but mostly it's 2L. So if it hits, they'll be crouching. And if they're crouching, we could hit hammer. But for the safest option, so that you can guarantee yourself a combo, is a walk up, backdash, 2M, and go into shoulder tackle, and then proceed to do your shoulder tackle combos. Now we also can run up and do the pod grab and come down with a heavy, but like if you do it too much, your opponent can be looking out for it and can punish you with a 2H or whatever they do to punish you for your pod if they're looking out for it. So do be wary of that when just going up and hitting that, because you can just jump up, pod, and then corner combo. But you have to do it. You have to do it at like the perfect height, like as soon as possible, or you won't get a full combo. As you can see, I keep missing it here, but I got it there. So it could be inconsistent at times, but if you do it right every time, then you'll be just fine. But I mean, I like the backdash more because I can counter with the a 5M as opposed to lights, and I'll get more damage. So if they're teching your grabs, always go for the 5M. And if they're not taking your grabs and they're doing like a 2L instead, look to backdash and hit a 2M. Sure, a lot of times I might be able to block it, but if you do it at the right time, you'll be able to hit a 2M in a tackle and then get yourself a nice little corner combo. Another cool thing that you can do with 2B is if you ever get a hard knockdown, like a grab, you can jump up and hover right before you hit the ground. That way, your opponent will you just get a combo there. Your opponent will either block low, assuming that you're going to land and go low, or try to grab, assuming that you land and grab, and then you'll be hovering, and then you can hit that medium, and then you can proceed to get a corner combo. But I have to warn against this, because it may work on maybe some lower level people, but if you're taking your 2B into like a tournament setting or something, or fighting people in Master, it's not going to be the most consistent thing, because when 2B came out earlier, people weren't really ready for that, but like as the time goes on, people are, and they will proceed to combo you. They'll just hit lights and then knock you out of the sky, and then do a raging strike and hit you with a full combo. So you want to be wary of this. But it's a nice thing to maybe throw out once, maybe just to check if your opponent is ready for it. But just know that it is dangerous to do, but if you do get it, then well, you get a full combo. So it's off of any kind of hard knockdown.
Great.
Or sweep, just hard knockdowns in general, and you'll be able to hover ahead, and your opponent will be looking to block you, but you'll be hovering, and then you'll go ahead and hit them and get a corner combo. So I don't recommend doing this in higher level play, but you will be able to get it on let's say newer people, or mid-level people, or whatever. Now, a really important thing, and this is very important, is if your opponent is doing a 6-6L, I'll just show you. You can reversal their next attack, so long as it's 7 frames and up. So that's 7 frames right there. G does 2M, and then we can proceed to hit her afterwards. Now, if she's doing a light like so, then we can't counter that because 6 frames is too fast, but 7 and up we can do. So if your opponent does 6-6L and goes into like a medium there, it won't work, because that is a close medium is a 6 framer. So you're gonna want to judge the distance. If they're hitting on the outside, then you want to use your reversal after you block it. If they're deep in there, even if you're blocking, then you don't want to do it. So we'll put on block right here. Okay, didn't do it. There we go. We'll still get hit there. So if they're doing the closest, the close attacks, the close medium after 66L will get hit. So we're gonna want to judge the distance. So if it hits on the outside, then usually they're gonna hit a button like this or a button like that, something that's gonna reach you afterwards to you know, keep their turn, and that's when we could just reversal. Now another thing is if we reversal a 66L, we can punish with a medium. As you can see on the left of the screen, it said punish. If we reversal that a 66L, then we get full combo. Now it can change depending on distance, the distance of the 66L. So the safest option is to punish with a punch, because if they're too close, then yeah, I'll just show you. That's when we want to punch. But most of the time, the medium will hit. But there's been certain instances where I've tried to punish with a medium and I wasn't able to hit it. So punch is the safest. But most of the time, like pretty much all the time, I will go for the medium and just go for the straight up full combo. So if you reversal a 66L, be sure to just punish with medium. And if they hit you, and if you block a 66L and they're far away, then just do the full reversal. To show you again, do something like that. We get punished every time. And just knowing the reversal of these things is very important, because not only do you get your turn back, but you also get some damage on them, which can be the reversal hit or the full combo, man. And that is a very important thing. So you got to be safe though. You got to know the distance. If it's on the outside, then you go for reversal. If they're really close to you when they do it, if they're like deep in there like so, then you definitely don't want to use reversal. And this next thing is also very, very important. Very important. Okay? If you do anything meaty with 2B, especially the mediums, which is what you'll be using mostly, anything that's meaty, you will be punished if your opponent spot dodges. So if they know how to fight 2B, you get punished pretty bad. So if I do this, see how it goes past the first hits? That leaves me open. That leaves me open right there. My opponent can just straight up hit me. I can't get them to hit me after the evade, but you see how they can block afterwards? There's a huge gap there where they're able to punish me. So your opponent will get full combo if you use medium attacks on meaty. Even a lot of times with heavy too, they'll be able to block right after, as you can see. But you know, the lights will hit, so like anything meaty, even on knockdown. See that? If they can spot dodge the first two attacks of the mediums, then they can fully punish you. So when you finish a combo and get a knockdown, or you get a throw and get a knockdown, or you just do something that's super plus, and you know it's your turn and you go over 5 mediums, your opponent can spot dodge that and punish you, man. Keep this in mind. If your opponent does it once, just be on the lookout for it. Be on the lookout. You gotta like maybe mix it in, and instead of doing mediums, you might want to just go for a grab or something, or wait for the spot dodge to finish and like full punish them. But yeah, just know that your opponent can spot dodge on anything meaty that you do. Even this, as you can see, I did a little late there. Literally anything that leaves you plus, they will spot dodge and full punish you. So if they fought there a good amount of 2Bs, they'll know what to do that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Very important. Back to the backdash. Now, when I was talking about keeping your opponent out with 2M, if you're being a little on the more defensive side and you don't want to throw out the button, you can always backdash. So if your opponent's running at you, you can backdash and see that they're jumping and then punish that. And you know, same thing with the 66L right there. You see her coming, but like, oh, and they hit and then punish with mediums. And like 2B has a really strong neutral, so you want to take advantage of that backdash, man. So they're coming at you and you're not sure what they're gonna do, whether they're gonna jump or 66L. Sometimes the safest option is backdashing. And if you see the jump, you anti-air, and if they 66L, you see the 66L, then you punish with mediums. Now, what's dangerous about that is that if your opponent is to peek that and like see that you're doing it, they can just keep running at you and then 66L later, like after they see the backdash finish. So just keep that in mind. I say it's safer to do the 2M, but like sometimes you might want to backdash, so you know, mix it up a little bit and you know, just keep yourself safe. And lastly, take advantage of the strongest thing that 2B can do, the double jump. You must take advantage of this. This is a very good thing to take advantage of. Keep your opponent guessing. If you want to jump in, maybe a single jump, maybe a double jump, maybe a double jump hover. Always keep your opponent guessing, man. Like, you can bait people into going into unfavorable positions, and because they're always wondering what you're gonna do. But keep in mind that some people have some moves that can hit you as you're going down. Like say like Sorez's ultimate punch, or Shalada's ultimate roll, or Blanca Ball as some would call it. Like, it'll catch you as you fall. So be careful about that. And once you double jump, you can't block. You can't block in the sky, and like you can get counter hit, like if you're hanging on your pod. So you do want to be careful about it, but do take advantage. Please take advantage of the double jump. This is her best thing. This is the best thing about her. You got to figure out ways to get in on your opponent using this, and especially if you're jumping, then remember you can hit that in the air, right? And then we have that. Remember that combo I went over. So yeah, you can catch that in the air if your opponent ever tries to hop up there with you. So you have to take advantage of the double jump. It's her best feature, and it's like really good for people who are like jumpers in fighting games like me. It's my favorite thing about 2B. It's why I main 2B. It's how I win with 2B. Be sure to use your jumps and the jump pod too. And that is my ultimate guide to 2B. If there's any kind of tips or tricks that you could think of that maybe I left out, go ahead and leave them in the comments, because we want to help out all 2B players, man. That's what we want. We want 2B to reign supreme. Now, I've gotten pretty far, and I've achieved a lot with 2B, and she's my favorite character so far, man. So I'm hoping that this guide can take you pretty far when playing with her. And you know, just to go over everything, man. Well, one last important thing. I know this is the outro, but one last important thing is you don't want to be too aggressive. Don't be too aggressive. You know, you want your skill gauge to come back up because they nerfed it. So you want your skill gauge to replenish so you can do cool things like your anti-air combos and yada yada yada. So don't be too aggressive. Be sure to take your time. And a lot of 2B is catching your opponent's mistakes. You know, being right outside their range. Maybe they hit a button and then you catch them with some 5Ms, man. So yeah, that's my 2B guide, man, and I hope this video finds you well and helps you out a lot, because you know, I really do enjoy this character. So if this video has helped you in any way, go ahead and leave me a like, and also subscribe for daily fighting game content. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.